What's going on? It's the Rap Nerd, and I'm here today just to talk about where they could take this franchise since Halloween Ends has ended the trilogy. Now, this video might be a little shorter than what I wanted it to be because it's funny. Halloween Ends actually did something that I wanted to see it as a follow-up. So I guess I'll get to that one first. The twist in Halloween Ends pretty much is what I've always wanted to see. Ever since Halloween 4, when they teased Jamie with the knife, wearing the clown outfit, I always was like, what would it be like if we had somebody else don the Michael Myers mask? And I wanted a movie of just that because you could do so many different things having a different character rather than Michael Myers. You could definitely play with that idea, and I feel like that would have been super interesting to do. So Ends literally did what I predicted for the future. So that was one of my options, but they still could do that because in the last frame of Halloween Ends, you see that Laurie, she still has the Michael Myers mask, right? What you could do if you wanted to keep the same continuity with this trilogy, it could be years down the line. Laurie even passed away because clearly I don't think Jamie Lee Curtis is coming back. She said this is it. This is her last time playing it. So she could pass, move on, and somebody could have gotten the mask, whether they're holding it in the police cell or they even frame it somewhere, put it in a museum or something. But either way, somebody has the mask and they tuck it away. You could have somebody steal that mask, and either they stay in Haddonfield or they steal it because they want to sell it. So that somebody could take the mask and go to a different city, and while this burglar of whoever it is in their hotel room or wherever they're hiding out at, the mask could be calling to them. Because the one thing about the trilogy is the mask plays a big part, I feel like, in the transcending into pure evil. I feel like, from Dr. Sarton to the mask and kills, when Michael pretty much did anything to keep the mask on, and hell, even in all the movies he keeps the mask on, and even in Ends, like the mask giving that power to Corey, So I feel like you have a new Michael Myers in a new setting and he's just murking people off, or keep it in Haddonfield, whichever one. I think that would be a super duper dope concept, but I'm not sure they're gonna do that since Halloween Ends didn't really garner the best reception. So it's clear people want Michael, they don't want just a guy. So I don't know what they're gonna do. So that was my first option of where they could lead to for a sequel or to continue using Michael Myers, because Halloween, it's never gonna end. They can say it ends, but eventually it's gonna come back. Now, second option is they could just do a complete reboot. And when I say reboot, what they could do is redo the 1978 version just now, similar to what Rob Zombie did. He just did his own take, retelling of that story. You could have somebody who has a particular vision and specific stylistic quality about the direction and writing to make something completely different. I think it can be done. I think you can retell that same story from 78 in a different way and make it different. I mean, hell, if you were to just make Michael Myers and Laurie be a person of color, it would be completely different than what they did. I'm not saying that's what they should do, but I'm just saying if you bring in other people to give their spin on the lore, you could do it. I know a lot of people don't like Rob Zombie's Halloween, the first one, or the second one, honestly, but I thoroughly enjoyed both of those movies. You see Rob Zombie style all throughout. Is it a bit brash and over the top? Yes, but that's Rob Zombie. I think you could bring somebody else in to craft something that's just as similarly bold and a different take on what Michael Myers is, who Haddonfield, the town of Haddonfield, the people who Laurie is. You could just recast everybody and just do a reboot if that's what they wanted to do. So that's my second option. My third option would be they could do a direct sequel to Season of the Witch, because to me that's still a storyline that hasn't been fully fleshed out. I feel like you could do it all these years later, right? Because involving someone else, because if you know how Season of the Witch ended, pretty much the cult of Sam Hain, I forgot how to pronounce it, I'm pronouncing it wrong, but the cult of Sam Hain, they won. The masks still were worn by kids, and that commercial still went off, killing a ton of kids. And what I would like to think is, the lead actor, the lead doctor, Dr. Dan, I would look at it like maybe one of his kids ended up dying because of that. and he goes back on the chase. Of course, we don't see any of this, but he ends up dying trying to figure it out, and then it's years later, and maybe one of his kids that survived is reminded of the Shamrock thing. They tried to ignore it this whole time, but they just learned some type of piece of information to put them back on track to track down the Silver Shamrock and who else is behind it. And I feel like you could breed a whole, 2 other movies out of that idea of somebody trying to find the company or Silver Shamrock, trying to find this cult of who even did this in modern day. I think that would be pretty damn dope. So that's the third idea that I had. And I guess you could say 3B of this idea, or I can just call it number 4. Or number 4 is they could do like Season of the Witch and just continue that anthology style movie that, John Carpenter wanted. I think there's a market for that. I think if, now that people know what Season of the Witch is, you could easily call it like Halloween Season of the Witch 2 or Halloween : something else, and just have its own title and have it just be something surrounding Halloween, flipping the idea of what Halloween is on its head to make it more sinister, or just add a different lore to the Halloween, or a lore that we've already existing that not many people know about, and you can continue the anthology series, of having Season of the Witch and Halloween Dragon Tail Man or something, just like, having different titles and doing things that also include pieces of the Halloween franchise so people know, but also let them know like this is its own thing, not involving Michael Myers, so people won't be upset. Because Season of the Witch has grown a cult following. Everybody, especially the horror community, we all love it. We all know what Carpenter was trying to do, and we all understand what he was attempting to do with the movie. So that's also an option that I think would be really, really dope to continue the franchise. Either way, whether it's 1, 2, 3, or 4 of my option, we're gonna get another Halloween. So I just feel like either one of those 4 could work. And if you're watching this, I would like for you to comment, let me know which of those options do you think is the most plausible, or hell, offer me up your opinion on how they should continue the franchise. Because like Evil never dies, Michael Myers never dies, Halloween never dies. He's too big of an icon in pop culture to just leave him on the shelf. They're even, they had it talking about trying to bring back Elm Street and Friday. You just can't leave these guys on the sidelines. We need them. So again, let me know in the comments. Be respectful as usual. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. And until next time, peace. RapNerd Productions, no capping, that's word to mommy.